should be up, so let me know when you... I'm just going to test the mic.
Mic number one, check, check, 1, 2, check, check.
I'll mute my phone.
Superintendent mic, check, 1, 2, super mic, 1, 2, 3. President mic, 1, 2, 3, 4. President mic, 1, 2, 3, 4. Microphone 5, 1, 2, 3. Microphone 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I could hear the delay. Now this is the new student ambassador mic. It is the wireless. And podium mic. Podium mic, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6.
All right, so I think all the microphones are good, right?
I just missed that from here.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the sound for a moment, okay? And then I'll let
think it is Joy. Definitely not me.
Hillary?
Oh my goodness. Is it bad luck to climb under one of those? No.
Yeah, I think it's exactly double. Yeah, it was.
Is it chicken or are they getting all of it?
No, it's
To put you on too?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Okay, we're gonna start the reorg meeting. Call to order. First we're gonna do is a pledge of allegiance. So if everybody could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Emergency exit is behind you and behind us as well. Please silence your cell phones. And first order of business that we are going to do is elect board officers, our president and vice president. So are there any nominations for board president?
I nominate Jay Roper for board president.
Okay,
I nominate Jim Mulcahy.
okay, Jay and Jim. All right, any other nominations for board president? I'm sorry, Jim? Mike? So we have Jay, Jim, and Mike nominated for president. All right. Okay, so any other nominations for board president? And by the way, Joy Lamarca is excused today as well. Okay. No other nominations. All right. So, all the yays for Jay, we'll go around and start with you, Roger.
Yeah.
Mike?
No.
Okay. All right. So Jay is board president. And all the nomination or vote yays for Jim.
Jim, I'll withdraw. I'm withdrawing.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That we have to do it.
Withdraw. And how about you? Would you like a vote? Go around the table? Okay. Roger?
Nay.
All righty. Jim got 2, Mike withdrew. Okay, Jay, thank you very much. You are board president. What I'm going to do right now is swear you in right now. All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jay Grover,
I, Jake Grover,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New York State,
and the Constitution of New York State,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education President
of Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Did you want to, so you step over here, I'm changing the boards here. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, so now I'll need a nomination for vice president. Is there any nominations for vice president? Roger? Okay. Are there any other nominations for vice president? Okay, so we will vote for Roger for vice president. Roger? Yay. Jim? Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, well, Roger will be vice president by 6-0 vote.
Roger, and this for you. Thank you. Raise your right hand. Sure. Wherever we are. I, Roger Grover, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education Vice President according to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You first got to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got. Just let Roger. Okay, now we just need to go through some items that require some action. The first is I need a motion approving the following Board of Education appointments. Items 1 through 41, effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. So Mike and Jim should have reload minutes there. There's with district treasurer, just many appointments throughout the.
One through, what did you say?
41, so 8.
Not that I have any personal issues with number 26, Blue Bank. Did we give any other banks a shot at getting out of business?
The question by Jim is about item number 26, district financial institutions. We have JP Morgan listed here and T Bank. So Jim's just curious if there are other banks in the running or if these are the banks that we've been using.
These are the banks that we've been using. We didn't look any further than sort of ones that were on grade nine, so I didn't really investigate any further banks.
Key Bank is here, I've got very good about them.
You gotta use the microphone, sorry. Yeah, you just press it down below. Yeah, thank you so much.
And KeyBank is here, and not that I think that they're better than either of these two, but, you know, we just shouldn't just, because we've always done it,
Right.
do it.
We also have Citizens Bank, but it's just, you know, I guess I have to say that I didn't look any further than these two.
Okay.
Well, MT Bank, is it true that many businesses use MT Bank? My experience, big businesses do rely, use MT Bank more often than not. I don't know anything about Key Bank, I just know MT be reputable with businesses.
They're all very reputable.
Right.
You've had a long-standing relationship with M&T Bank,
I used to work there.
so,
I used to approve all your bond issues.
Thank you.
Okay.
recently for the GISBO organization, I got a better CD rate at Citizens Bank than M&T, but I don't know how long Citizens Bank has been on the island, and I just didn't investigate any further than what you've had in the past.
And Doug, we have some investments through JP Morgan, or JP Morgan Chase, do we?
We do.
Yeah.
Other questions or discussion?
I'm sorry, do you have a question? Well, I was gonna motion.
Oh. Yes, so one question I do have is on solar. It seems like all the solar construction's done. Do we have O'Toole on retainer? Are we paying anything, or is that only as needed is the only time that would cost us any money?
Yeah, thank you, it's a
Where
great.
are you located? What's the team?
I'm sorry, it's item number 22. 22C, solar pilot.
It's a great question. We have been investigating opportunities to try to do solar, particularly behind the transportation department. But most recently, through all the investigations, the federal wetlands are getting in the way of doing anything in that space. But I've asked Doug and John Montesani to continue looking for opportunities. We own a lot of property on the island that we don't use. And then we have property, of course, with our schools. We would like, we like the idea of putting some solar on our property, not only on the ground level, but also on the roofs. We can't do anything on our roofs yet until our middle school and high school roofs are fixed, but it's a continuous investigation to see what's best for solar for Grand Island schools.
Do we have her on retainer? Are we paying her something?
No.
No.
Okay, it's only as needed.
Right.
Okay. Then that's fine. I do have just two other questions real quick. We're actually doing psychological exams and physical therapy and occupational therapy here. Oh,
Yes.
well, sorry, this is 16 and 17.
Sure, and Cheryl might best be able to answer that.
Want me to answer the OTP too?
Yeah,
OTP?
that would be
You're
great.
talking about Rehab Associates, Mike?
Yes.
So we do occupational therapy and physical therapy for our special ed students. It's either IEP directed or 504 directed, depending on what the evaluations of our kiddos. Sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's twice a week, depending on their needs.
Okay. So we're actually doing that here. And how about psychological exams? Doesn't seem like the school should be doing that.
So
It's Coggins on the list.
Yeah,
Coggins.
Coggins.
So in the rare occasions that we have an employee who may need a psychological evaluation, we have her to be, we choose the point to be our doctor.
And is there a cost for that? Because
Right, we're not
Doesn't-
paying until we need it.
it doesn't seem like we should be even in that business. So there is nothing committed payment-wise for that position?
That's correct. So as John said, if an employee needed specialized evaluation from a district psychiatrist or psychologist, we would use that on the Coggins.
Okay. And the last question I have is central treasurer, item 25. So it says extra classroom activity and funds. We're listing one person, and I just want to confirm, there must be someone else that double checks every transaction that occurs.
Doug, thank you.
There's a central treasurer that looks over every extra classroom activity. And beyond that, we have a district treasurer that looks at, well, basically everything.
So receipt of, let's just say it's a big fundraiser, there's two people that are involved confirming full reconciliation.
Yeah, first you have the advisor. So the advisor's working with the students, collecting the money, counting the money. There's two people that count the money.
Good.
Then it comes to the extra classroom treasurer who counts it again with the advisor before it's deposited. And the overall treasurer of the school district is looking for any inaccuracies for everything that's going on in the district.
Good. So we're not just relying on one person to get checks.
And Doug, just to add another layer, does BOCES help us with that audit too?
Well, BOCES audits everything. In other words, every bill that's paid by the district, we have an internal auditor. So boards of education typically have an internal auditor so that they don't have to audit every bill. And that person is at Erie One BOCES, and we do pay for that service.
And that's it.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, if I could have a motion to approve items 1 through 41. Yeah, a second, Jim. Excellent. Okay, on to some, no, geez, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Okay, now we'll move on to some committees for Erie County Association of School Boards. We need 2 for the delegate assembly. Beth, you were the alternate. Ashley was the delegate. Anyone interested? We definitely need 1 person at least. I don't know about who you're going to stay on. You're going to be the delegate? Okay. Can we have an alternate for the delegate assembly? Anybody interested in that? I'll do that. Roger? All right, excellent. Legislative committee, it was Ashley and Roger. Roger, are you interested in staying on that? I'll take it. If there's no other interest, I could be the alternate unless somebody wants to. You're interested? Okay, Jim, you can have it look here unless somebody else is interested. Okay, so Roger would be the delegate, Jim would be the alternate. Budget and finance team, Sue was the delegate and Roger, you were alternate.
I'd be interested in Jane.
Would you like to be the delegate? Or?
I would take the delegate also.
You would take the you can both attend, it's not.
Okay.
It's not, it's just, yeah.
Roger,
Okay. Very good. Last one is an annual business meeting and resolutions. It was Ashley and Danielle. Danielle, I don't know if you're still interested. You're going to stay on? Is there someone interested in being the delegate for that? For the National School Boards Association.
I will.
Beth?
Sure.
Mhm. So Beth and Danielle. Excellent. All right, so moving on to some district committees, starting with the PTA, PTSA delegates. I would like to stay the main delegate for the high school. I do a lot of work there, and I'd like to stay in that position. Beth, you were the alternate. Do you want to stay? Is anyone else interested?
I would be, but if it's already taken, it's taken.
Okay. Okay, so let's keep that the same. Middle school, Beth, you were the delegate. I was the alternate.
I'd take the delegate if that's okay.
I'm fine with dropping that. If
Oh,
you
that's
want
fine,
it.
just because I have a child at
Mhm.
middle school, so if I'm happy to attend those, but I can be at
Yeah. Okay, so, and again, you can both attend, so Beth and Mike.
You're going to stay on.
You stay on, so so Mike and Beth. All right, Youth Road PTA, Roger and Danielle, you're currently delegate, Danielle alternate, which you guys want to stay on.
I can stay on this one.
I was looking at some other positions, so if someone else wants.
Someone for the Youth Road delegate?
If, like, the delegate is.
Danielle, you want to be the delegate?
Yeah,
Okay.
as opposed to the alternate.
Okay, and then is there someone that would be the alternate?
I can be the alternate.
Beth, let's see the alternate. Okay. All right, we're on to Kegbine. It was Beth and Joy. Joy, I spoke with Joy. She said she'd like to stay on what she was last year unless somebody else really wanted it. So Joy was the alternate. Beth, you were the delegate on that.
I would like
So
to stay.
you want to stay on that one then? Okay. Okay, so Beth and Joy. For Sidway, it was Sue and myself. I was the alternate. I can stay as the alternate, but we do need a delegate for Sidway. Want to be the main PTA delegate for Sidway.
I could do it.
Jim, would you do it? Or Mike, you want to do it? So Mike and district council was Sue and Danielle. I couldn't be that delegate unless somebody else wanted to.
What is the district council?
So the PTA council, so it's all the PTA, yeah. And everyone is welcome to those meetings as well. You're not an alternate delegate. So Danielle, you are the alternate. Did you want to stay?
I can stay on as the alternate unless somebody else would rather be an alternate.
And district council delegate, I will take it unless somebody else is interested. Okay, so I can be the delegate for that, and Danielle, you are the alternate. Oh, that's right, we have additional, that's right, that we did not have last year. Yes, very good, super exciting this year, yes, we have the SEPTA, and the special ed PTA, special education PTA. It was just formed this past spring, right? Yeah, so very excited. And that's a district-wide, that's the whole district, that's not per school. So, is the delegate on that, John? Okay. Is there anyone interested in being an alternate for that? Beth? Sweet. Thanks. All right, GISBA, big hole here with Sue leaving as the delegate of GISBA. So we definitely need a delegate. Roger, you are the alternate. You can stay. Any interest in that?
I just can't.
No. Okay.
The meeting stage.
Jim, do you want to be on that?
Yeah, aren't they generally during the day? Yeah, there's the morning. So it's kind of out for me.
Thursdays.
Thursdays.
On 7:45.
We can do that, Jim? Excellent. And then we would also need an alternate. Again,
I can.
I could be the alternate, if you want, because I'm good at mornings.
Excellent. Jim and Mike? Awesome. Thank you. All right. Internal Audit Committee representatives, it was Sue and Danielle.
I'd be interested in the audit.
Would you like to be the delegate?
Yeah.
Would you delegate? And then Danielle, would you like to stay alternate?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so Mike and Danielle. Policy Committee, this one we can have up to 3. It was Ashley, myself, and Danielle. I can stay on that.
I would like to stay.
Would you like to stay on that?
I would.
Roger would like to. Anybody else? Would like to? No? Okay, so Roger, Danielle. All right, on to Community Relations Committee. This says 1 or 2. It's not a delegate or an alternate. It's just two members. Beth and Sue were on. Beth, did you want to stay? You want to stay? Is there somebody else that would be interested in being on that? It says analyzes and plans for the improvement of community relations and district communication. Okay, I could. Well, when do they generally meet? Okay, yeah, so I could. Okay, perfect. So I can go on. I can take that then. All right, this one will need 2. Community Education Advisory Committee. The committee advises the Director of Community Education on all matters associated with community education. So it was Ashley and Sue, so we'll need 2 people for that.
And could you clarify that a little bit more? What do they do?
Yeah, we meet with the Director of Community Education. That person shares with us new courses that they're looking to add to the program or delete. Also, we get an overview of the fiscal health of community education.
So it's not community, it's student education? Or
It is community, it's adult ed, it's the community education, yeah. But we have students, that are participating in our summer sports program here, so it encompasses all community activities.
Yeah, I'll share with you, my daughter is currently coaching for a community education program for the summer, so we need 2 people.
I can be on either one as a delegate.
I thought it says 1 board member. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong one. Got it. Yep.
Yeah, 1 or 2. So we can
1 or 2.
get Danielle, and is there somebody else that would like?
I can
Just,
be outside.
okay. Okay, food service committee, again, 1 or 2, it analyzes the plans for the improvement of nutrition and food services across the district. It was Sue and Roger. Roger's going to stay on. Is there somebody else that would want to be on that food service committee?
It does
Not
meet,
sure when it meets.
it meets later in the afternoon, and sometimes 2:30.
How often?
3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, so not
Yeah.
the
It was more significant when we were in a deficit, but we're not in a deficit anymore.
Well, it's 1 or 2, so we'll have Roger and then perhaps Joy can join later if we can run it by her. We'll sign her up. We just sign her up. Okay, and last but not least, District Facilities Committee, up to 3 board members. This committee will review, analyze, and develop a short and long-term plan for improving district facilities. Roger's on it, Joy's on it, and Sue is on it. So
I'm
Jim's
interested also.
Interested? Okay.
I'm interested.
Geez, Roger, Joy, and Sue. Yeah, Roger. Joy wanted to stay on. Yeah, Joy wanted to stay on it. Roger wanted to stay on it. So we have
Okay.
one more spot.
Meet Jim.
We could, Jim. Jim's good. Okay. All right, and I think that would conclude our reorganization meeting. Am I correct with this?
No.
Yes, C.
Yep.
Too fast. Okay. First time doing this recording meeting here. Okay, so I need a motion to approve the following general organizational items, okay? Do I read through all of these, or we all have them in front of us?
Just call for any discussion.
Anyone like to have any discussion or questions regarding 1 through 6?
Sorry, do we need a motion to start this meeting?
No.
Do, yeah, it says motion.
Oh.
Separate, says,
Okay, so, yeah, so we do need a
So we did
motion.
that.
Yeah, we do need a motion to approve all of the Board of Education committee appointments.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passed 6-0. All right, so now we're on C. So motion approving the following general organizational items. Any questions or comments on those? Okay, then is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion for C.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 6-0. Okay, and then one final motion to approve of the authorization for superintendent or designee to authorize change orders for capital construction projects up to $15,000.
Approve, all of a sudden you're a couple $100,000. It seems to me that there's got to be, you can have X number of change orders totaling, pick an amount, and it has to come, and we just can't.
Maybe we add up to $15,000 per project.
Sometimes you get
That's pretty low. That's pretty low, yeah.
But I.
Change orders do occur. We haven't been in a project in a while, but they do occur. And this is a traditional amount.
I have no problem with the 15,000. What I have a problem with is that you can be at 14.5 and you can have 30 of them at 14.5. And all of a sudden we're at $135,000. At some point, you need to have a dollar cap on total change orders before they have to come to us. I have no problem with the 15,000.
No, I understand.
Draw.
I understand.
But I do have a problem with not having a cap.
Well, maybe it could be, maybe there could be a proposal based upon subject matter, maybe. So your concern, Jim, is based upon there being an abundance of change order approvals for the same subject of the project?
That one issue that you would have, but just in general,
He's just
a
talking
lot
about
of,
the overall.
a lot of change orders, we have to ask what's going on.
Ryan, do you know of the end, like?
I really don't, yeah.
Actually,
And
I do have a
remember,
question. Would that still be under the budget?
The board would approve any change order above 15,000.
And it couldn't go above the number that is approved for the project because.
Yeah, correct.
In that last capital project, didn't we come in on $1 million or something?
We came in, it was a $24 million project, I think we spent 18 million.
Yeah, okay, so, and anything over 15,000
Has to come to the board.
Perfect.
So the 99 capital project, that was about $700,000 in change orders that came to on an $18 million project. At some point, the board shouldn't get blindsided by the total dollar amount of these things. It's a nuisance to have encumbered, for every single one, I understand that. But it seems to me when we hit some threshold level, we gotta know about it.
And we can present every change order to the board that's 15,000 and lower, so that the board sees what is being approved by the superintendent, right? And then the board can say, hey, that's enough, don't do any more, right? So at the very least, you'll get the information.
But the way you just described it, you could come and show us $14,000 things and say, here, they are. Well, wait a minute, that's a lot of money. I would think we would want to understand what's happening to this project long before we approved that kind of money.
Jim, if you're referencing change orders from the year of 1999, I'm going to assume that you looked at change orders after the year 1999, and you didn't have concerns with the change orders for the years after 1999, your last year of change orders. What you were concerned with was 1999.
That's the only one I'm aware of, the deal, the actions on, where I know that the numbers were there. What I am saying is that just showing us all of the under 15,000 change orders that were approved, that's a fait accompli. $14,000 is, gets you up to $560,000. That's a lot of money. And if there's something going on with a capital project like that we have to keep doing and stuff, I think the board should know that. Now, pick a number. Is it 300,000? Is it 400,000? But there should be some number that you can't go beyond without coming to us.
Isn't that number already accounted for in
No.
the budget?
No. The change orders, and we approve
The
something.
project is accounted for, the total of the project, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, no matter what, you can't go over the total amount for the project, so.
So what you're saying is you,
Well, they did in that project, I know that for a fact.
I guess one question I have, Brian, not having looked at it that close, is it really that, I know there's always change orders, but is it that big of a deal for us to just one-off approve those, just like we're doing other things tonight? I mean, is it really that big of a,
I think it slows down the work.
yeah,
So the superintendent has the authority to approve a small change order of $15,000, so work can continue. Let's say we only have one board meeting a month in one of the months, we might have to wait 30 days, right, to get a.
how about
get
for a
approval.
solution then, that change orders, just like you have it worded right now, but all change orders will be reported the following month as part of the meeting
Yeah, I agree.
agenda?
I agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's change the wording just to add, and will be reported monthly,
It's fair.
We make a notation, so we don't forget. Okay, great.
because then we can track it.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. So do we want to call for a
Okay,
motion?
so do we have a motion to approve D with the addition and verbiage of a monthly update on change orders, $15,000?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carried 5-1. Okay, now.
Is it Roger? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Or Mike.
Mike and.
Yeah, I did the motion back.
Mike and.
Okay.
All right, so then, do we have a motion to adjourn the
I'll make a motion.
reorganization? Second?
Awesome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, then we start the. We can take a break. Okay, let's go next one. All right, well then we'll start the regular meeting here with the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, so I will start with, need an approval of the agenda from the,
It just says reorg and board, but.
yeah, we were reorg, yeah, okay, so yeah, approval of the, yeah, it says reorg and DOE agenda for July 6th. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Discussion, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I'd like us to add, or sorry, Jim, I think you mentioned, should we discuss the number of meetings we're having?
Yeah.
More in terms of, I think, executive session, I mean, 30 minutes seems really way too tight.
And we usually do 60 minutes for executive session.
We usually do.
Yeah.
We just have.
We just had the reorg today.
I
starting
think
at
if we
7.
know what the agenda is, we may need to make it longer than 60 minutes, because I do think that we're gonna have a lot to cover. And then Jim?
Yeah, I'm surprised at how few board meetings we have scheduled here, especially prior to the budget. We have one a month, November, December, January, and February, the first budget. We're not gonna have time to discuss many of my concerns and issues and to put together a good budget. We're gonna come to February 1, and then it's gonna be beat the clock. I think there should be more meetings up front as to what we're doing, where money's being spent, how we're organizing the district. But that's my opinion.
I mean, it does seem, we do definitely need to have much more detailed discussions on the budget and the opportunities for doing things different and things of that nature. Is it during the general meeting, or do we need to do a more focused? And I think that's one of the motions we're gonna discuss. But I do think we need to make the budget a regular topic at these meetings and talk about opportunities and what have you. Maybe that finance committee, the process and finance optimization committee, might be how that gets fed into this general meeting.
Yeah, I think there's been some discussion later about an additional committee that may be formed, and I think that could be a solution, right? Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so did I get a motion to put these minutes?
I motion
Okay.
to leave that second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 6. So, next I need a motion for the approval of the minutes from the June 8th meeting last month. I know Jim and Mike, you were here today.
We were in the audience.
Yeah, that's what I mean, so I'm not quite sure. Danielle and Roger, and all in favor?
Actually, just a quick discussion point, just talking about budget and really trying to understand how things occur. One of the things on there was the auction of 3 buses, and I'd like to request just some information regarding those buses, what year were they purchased? I think we need to go through you guys to do that, but what year were they purchased, actually received, what was the mileage, and
Actually, I think,
recently?
now that you have access to board docs, you can go back, they can go back, and you'll be able to pull up that document, because I think that was.
Would this maintenance lot be like when the tires were changed and
No.
mileage?
It's just a general, here's the bus, here's the mileage, how many years, that's what you'll see.
But separately, then maybe I can ask for the additional information just on those 3 buses, just so that I can get, I mean, I would be curious, when were the tires changed, when was the last transmission, things of that nature.
Right, but like what you're asking, if we're making a bus that's obsolete over 10 years, I guess we would need to better understand how many reports we need to generate over those 10 years for you, right?
I'm just asking for the 3.
Right,
For the
but
3
you want to
buses.
see 10 years of maintenance for a bus.
Oh, no, just the last 6 months probably would be sufficient. I would imagine there's a very good maintenance record.
So, now that Jay's the president, he will ask for agenda items, and each board trustee can let Jay know what agenda items they would like on the next agenda, and then that'll floor to me.
Okay, so we'll add that to the agenda for the next meeting.
Well, you'll make a request to Jay for that.
And Mike, you'll see in board docs the buses, the mileage, the year, and at that point, I think you could reach out. If there's one that really stands out that you'd like to know more about, can get you information.
just so you know, my biggest curiosity, was there just a tire change just recently, or some other thing that was a big investment that could have been avoided, just to kind of feel it out.
Sure. No, I think,
And then we go and auction it.
yeah.
And get $12,000 for $12,000 worth of brand new tires, think of
I
that.
think we talked at the last meeting, you've generally been getting, what, about 10 years?
Yeah,
Buses, 100,000 miles,
And mind you, I'm not saying that's happening,
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah. Okay.
Jake, with the request to add agenda items, will you send that out via email before, at least a week before?
Yeah. I mean, I can, earlier, that's something we can.
to get that data though,
Sure.
could I just request it, or does it have to go through this meeting?
Do you want that on an
Learning
agenda?
process.
Do you want it on an agenda? Or do you want it?
Do you want to speak about it here?
So Jay directs me as president, so it would be good to flow through Jay and then to me.
Okay.
Sure.
Understood.
On to public comment session, agenda items only. We did have one person sign up. So at this time, public comments are invited from those individuals who desire to address the Board of Education on any topic which is on the agenda. Residents who have previously signed up to speak will be recognized by the president. When speaking, please identify yourself first, speak clearly and loudly enough for everyone in the room to hear you. Speakers are requested to limit their remarks to not more than 3 minutes, to appoint a spokesperson if a concern is a group concern, and if necessary or desired, to supplement verbal presentations with written reports. Personal comments toward a board member of the community, staff, or Board of Education will not be considered appropriate. All right, so at this time, Sabrina Steffens, if you'd like to step up to the podium, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, members of Board of Education and the Superintendent. If you don't know me, my name is Sabrina Steffens, and during my high school years, I have repeatedly encountered barriers simply because I have chose to live out my faith. When I wanted to start a Bible club, I was told over and over again to wait because the administration was always too busy to meet with me. It took outside involvement before I was finally given the opportunity that should have been available from the beginning. Unfortunately, that was not the last time my faith was treated differently. This past year, my senior parking spot design was rejected because it included a Bible verse. I found this decision incredibly ironic considering we constantly hear words like inclusion, diversity, and acceptance, and we are told that every student should be free to express themselves and celebrate what makes them unique. But unfortunately, I learned very quickly that those values apparently have limits, which seemed to end where my faith began. Now, my parking spot was never the problem, nor was my Bible verse or the existence of different beliefs. The problem is rooted in the district getting to choose and decide which viewpoints are acceptable and which are not, without respecting the constitutional rights it is sworn to uphold. This decision didn't just affect me, and it sent a message to every student watching. It taught them that expressing your beliefs is acceptable only if those beliefs are approved by those in authority. That is not inclusion, that is selective acceptance. Halfway through my senior year, I transferred to a private Christian school. Ironically, I found a school that welcomed students, respected them as individuals, and encouraged expression despite their differences. This experience forced me to ask a simple question: if a private school can create an environment where students feel respected and heard despite their differences, why couldn't my public school, that is an institution bound by the Constitution, do the exact same? And now we arrive at today's decision. Instead of acknowledging mistakes and moving forward, the district has chosen to eliminate seniors' parking spot decorating altogether. Whether intentional or not, this creates the appearance that one student exercising her constitutional rights somehow ruined a tradition for everyone else. This has never been about a parking spot. It has been always about whether a student can openly express her faith without fear of censorship. It has always been about whether constitutional rights actually matter when they become inconvenient, and it has always been about the example the adults in this district choose to set for the students watching. The lesson I have learned is one I never expected to learn in a public school. Sometimes you have to fight for rights that should have been protected and given from the beginning. I sincerely am in exercising their constitutional rights. Thank you.
And now it's on to curriculum and instruction with John Fitzpatrick.
Thank you very much. Tonight, we have two items up for approval. That's item A and B. Item A is the annual DECA state competition, which is held in Rochester. And item B is a workshop that our senior high chorus will be going to Carnegie Hall in New York City to have a workshop in April of next year over the weekend. So we're looking for approval on those two items. Item C and D are for information purposes.
Okay, any questions for John? If not, can I have a motion to approve curriculum A and D?
So, second.
Did you have something?
No, it said second.
Okay.
I heard someone else over there say.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried 6. Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. All right, now on to personal instructional. Okay, all right, a motion to approve PI 1 through PI 8.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
To pass it, there's a discussion, so I.
Okay.
Obviously, we want to discuss it. And so that's, some of these new hires and or what have you. I would like us to do it one at a time, not all at once, like we've discussed, and then we can go forward with the vote for each one of the cases.
Okay. Sounds good. So, would you like it by, Mike, do you want it by PI or with each individual letter?
It would be one situation at a time, basically.
Okay, so we'll PI 1. Yeah, okay, so how about that? How about all resignations? Well, for PI 1, would that be?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve that'll be PI 1? Motion to approve PI 1?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained?
And
Motion.
just so you know, our QuickBooks aren't working yet, so we're still onboarding.
So we Do you need additional information or no? You good?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, PI 2, which is removal. There's a motion to remove, to approve PI 2.
So moved. I'll make it, I'll second it.
Jim and Roger, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. All right, PI 3 is leave of absences. So a motion to approve PI 3.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. All right, so PI 4. Usually it's going to go a little down.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so let's go PI, is there a motion to approve PI 4A?
And in this, I mean, out on the,
I just want to just clarify, the motion, is there a motion, so we'll collect the motions and then have discussion.
okay, go ahead. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve PI 4A?
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, discussions?
Yeah, it's okay, we're all learning here.
Yeah.
I think the name's out there already, but I probably won't use the name. I don't have enough information on this, and some of this information we literally just were given, just prior to the meeting. In all cases, when we're talking about new salaries, one thing I'd like to propose is, just like any other business, you know, we should justify what's the salary, what's the basis of that, is it steps, is it number of years of service, just so that we have a clear understanding and have that in the packet, so that we as board members don't have to ask for what the justification is. And in this one case, I'm not certain if the step is correct, and have only just received some of that information. I'm going to abstain on this one at this point in time.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, in that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Okay, motion carried 5 with 1 abstention, 5-0, 1-2. 4-2. With 2 abstentions. Okay, so PI 4B.
And actually, so 4B, and then, yeah, let's just do one at a time.
Okay, so PI 4B, motion
I
to
will
approve
make a
PI
motion
4B.
for 4B.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried 6. Okay, PI 4C. A motion to approve PI 4C.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried 6-0. PI 4D. A motion to approve PI 4D. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. Okay, on to PI 4E, and a motion to approve PI 4D.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. PI 4F, and a motion to approve PI 4F. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6.
Roger, right? No?
Yep. PI 4G, have a motion to approve PI 4G.
I'll motion. Or I'll second.
Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. All right, PI 4H, and a motion to approve PI 4H.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. And finally, a motion to approve PI 4I.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Oh, discussion.
Discussion?
So, I mean, I just got this information. I guess for this one, I'm not gonna, I'm fine. Never mind, go ahead.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. PI 4J. Have a motion to approve PI 4J. And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries 6-0. And last, PI 4K. Motion to approve PI 4K.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 6-0.
Mr. Grover, we do have some
Oh,
intros,
introductions.
but we,
All right.
if we just pause, we can do the rest of the agenda. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, is it okay with you, Jude? Okay, great. Felicia, would you like to do an introduction?
Yes, I have two. Good evening, everyone. I have two introductions tonight. I'm going to start with Caitlin Rudney first. Caitlin, if you want to stand. I'm pleased to introduce Caitlin Rudney as the newest English Language Arts teacher at VCMS Middle School. And she is also a Grand Island graduate. Caitlin brings a strong passion for literacy, student engagement, and relationship building to our school community. She most recently served as a secondary English teacher at Lewiston Porter Middle and High School, where she taught 8th and 9th grade English, as well as academic intervention services for high school students preparing for the English Regents exam. Throughout her teaching career, she has demonstrated a commitment to meeting the needs of all learners by differentiating instruction, creating engaging project-based learning, and fostering classrooms where students feel supported, challenged, and valued. The interview committee was especially impressed by Caitlin's enthusiasm for middle school education, her thoughtful approach to instruction, and her genuine commitment to building positive relationships with students, families, and colleagues. We are confident she will be a wonderful addition to VCMS, and we look forward to the positive impact she will have on our students. Congratulations, Caitlin.
Caitlin, did you bring anybody with you today?
I did, my dad.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I would also like to introduce Kelsey Edmonds to everyone. Kelsey, if you could please stand. Kelsey Edmonds is the new assistant principal at VCMS. She brings 13 years of educational experience, having served as both a special education teacher and most recently an assistant principal. Throughout her career, she has been guided by a passion for supporting the whole child and building strong relationships with students, families, and staff. Throughout the interview process, it was evident that Kelsey is a thoughtful, student-centered leader who is committed to listening first, building meaningful relationships, supporting high-quality instruction, and fostering a school culture where every student has the opportunity to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Kelsey recently made Grand Island her home, which is demonstrating not only her commitment to this position, but also becoming part of our community. That level of confidence and investment in our district speaks volumes about the kind of leader she is. We're excited to welcome Kelsey to the Viking family and look forward to the positive impact she will have on our students, staff, and families. Congratulations, Kelsey.
Did you bring anybody with you today?
So I have my family and my parents.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Felicia. And after we get done with intros, if people want to go and get ice cream, or watch USA versus Bosnia. Thank you for that intro. Hillary, do you have any?
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Graham, and District Administrators. Tonight, I am pleased to introduce Jackie Carpenter, if you could please stand up, who is now appointed as our full-time art teacher at Grand Island High School. Mrs. Carpenter is certainly not new to our community. For the past 4 years, she served as a part-time member of our high school art department, where she has made tremendous impacts on our students and our program. During that time, she's been instrumental in helping our art department build what has now become our annual Youth Art Month art show, which is fantastic. She's helped grow interest in our art courses at our high school, and she has played a key role in the development of our new Art Academy and Art Pathways, which will officially launch this school year. Mrs. Carpenter is a welcoming, creative, and inspiring art teacher who is deeply committed to helping our students discover and develop their artistic talents. She has become a valued member of our high school team, building positive relationships with our students and her colleagues alike, while always looking for ways to strengthen opportunities for our students in our building. We are thrilled to have Mrs. Carpenter joining us for this full-time art role, and we look forward to the continued positive impact that she will have on our students, our art department, and our Grand Island High School community. So please join me in welcoming Mrs. Carpenter.
Jackie, it's been a sincere pleasure. I'm so proud of you. The journey that you've been on, right, for multiple years, either subbing or being a part-time art teacher has now come to fruition. You are just everything that Hillary said and more, and your leadership, not only in the district parent council and in other areas, have been outstanding. And I can see why your 6 children, 5 children? Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to make an announcement. Your 5 children are also emblematic of you and your husband and what you have demonstrated as, a family unit. Your children are amazing. Did you bring anybody with you?
We did. We have new middle schooler Benny Carpenter here to support.
Benny, can you stand up just briefly? And your dad? That'd be great.
Fresh off the beach, so.
We're very congratulations. Say it again?
Student Jamie Gray, recently graduated student who made the necklace that I'm wearing today.
Oh,
So I just want to give her a shout out.
So shout out to Jamie Gray.
Jamie Gray, yeah.
Who
'cause it really,
handmade your necklace.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Any other announcements? I have a few myself, but does anybody else? Go ahead, Max.
I'd like to introduce our newest 2th-row teacher, Joshua Schwinn. Would you please stand for me? Mr. Schwinn brings several years of elementary teaching experience, most recently as a 4th grade teacher at Union East Elementary in Cheektowaga. Throughout his career, he has taught in a variety of classroom settings, including co-talks and English language learner classrooms, and is passionate about creating engaging learning experiences while supporting students' social and emotional growth. Mr. Schwinn is also a member of the New York State Master Teacher Program and has a strong interest in mathematics, instruction, and literacy. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Schwinn to the Grand Island Central School District.
Joshua, we're very pleased that you're coming to Grand Island. You blew us away in the interviews. You're a budding leader, as what we can see as well, and we look forward to you working with the team and doing some incredible, innovative, and fun things for our kids. So congratulations. All right, thank you, Mr. Howe.
Like never ends. Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Graham, District Administrators. I'm pleased to introduce Megan Foster. She is our new 4th grade teacher at Kegabyne Elementary School. We have had the pleasure of having Mrs. Foster as our building-based substitute since the beginning of this school year, or this past school year, and we are thrilled to have her join our team as a probationary teacher. Mrs. Foster hails from Ohio and completed her undergraduate studies at Ball State in Indiana. She taught in Indiana before she relocated to Western New York with her husband and is currently working on her master's degree at Buffalo State University in Applied Behavior Analysis. During the interview process, Mrs. Foster was a standout candidate. Her depth of knowledge of differentiation and special education was clearly evident. During her demo lesson, Mrs. Foster was able to collect student data and then use that information to reflect on her lesson, which was above and beyond. But that's what Mrs. Foster did all year at Kegabyne. She went above and beyond to support our students and teachers. As a building-based sub, she was often requested by teachers to cover their classes during their absences. We are very excited to have Mrs. Foster join us at Kegabine full-time and cannot wait to add her fresh perspective to our faculty. Congratulations.
And this additional certification or licensure that you're doing for, it's ADA, is it?
Yeah.
Adaptive behavioral analysis is really, really, really impressive. Cheryl and I have met a lot of people who have a background like that, and we're very excited that you'll be able to bring that level of expertise and knowledge to your day-to-day work and supporting not only all the students, but supporting your colleagues as well as the principal. So, did you bring anybody with you
I
tonight?
did, my little cousin Joe.
Very good, congratulations.
I have a question. You said you're from Ohio.
Yes.
I hope you root for the Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah.
You said Ball State, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I went to Ball State.
All
We
right,
still root for the Buckeyes
yeah,
here for a
Buckeyes,
while.
All right, Cynthia Rickard, can you stand? Yes, we're just so very pleased to introduce Cynthia Rickard as our new school lunch manager, director of food and nutrition. Cynthia, this is my 10th year, starting my 11th. We were very blessed and fortunate to hire Patrick Smith 9 years ago, and he was coming out of like an Elderwood, doing very similar work as a director of dietary work with our elderly, right? And he had blossomed over the period of years. We're very, very proud of him, and we're happy, that he's happy going to Kenton, and we're just very pleased to bring you on board. Your resume is outstanding. Not only have you worked in assisted living and memory care, right, which is very, very special, but also you've worked in Williamsville for 6 years, I think?
Yes.
And you ran your own kitchen there, right?
Yes,
Yep. And you started a fine dining establishment in the Western York area that got great reviews. So you're coming to us with a multi-layered approach to food and nutrition, and I know you're going to be a superstar, so congratulations. Brian Willis, would you stand, please? So this is a great story. I have known Brian, right, for 10 years. He has been the kindergarten and first grade and UPK physical education teacher for, I don't know, many years even before I got here. Brian, how many years?
23 and a half.
23 and a half. Brian also has 3 beautiful children. His wife is a special education teacher in Lackawanna, and his son is playing collegiate baseball. And Tegan just graduated. It was so special to see you give her a big hug on stage, and she might dabble in a little hockey.
On Buff State to play hockey.
Buff State to play hockey. And then we can't wait to see your youngest. He is such a great athlete and such a good boy. But above and beyond that, you have blown us away coming out of a primary school and being the dean of students here at the high school. And I think one of the reasons why you're so successful, obviously you have a great personality, you're great with people, but you know our community. You know these kids, because these kids are your kids' friends and peers, right? And everybody gives you utmost respect when you're interacting here at the high school. It's as if it's just a natural fit that you've totally blown away and how easily you've adapted. And then secondly, as our director of community education and a coach in the district, you're willing to take on this new responsibility as a teacher on special assignment, dean of athletics. You'll have support by Brett Banker to coach you. He's one of the state recognized athletic directors. So we cannot thank you enough for taking the risk and coming out of a primary school to share your leadership with our schools and our kids. So. Did you bring anybody with you today? Do you want to introduce Jamie?
Yeah. I have to give a lot of credit to Jamie and Hillary for the last, since January. They guided me and helped me through it. So going from the little problems to the big problems was a big adjustment.
Yeah, a little bit. We're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Just scanning, do we have any other announcements? All right, if you've been introduced and you want to go watch that soccer game and get some ice cream, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we'll continue on with personnel. I guess we're down on that.
Very easy. Okay, so back to personnel instructional, I will just keep each one of these separate. So I need a motion to approve PI 5, please. And a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstained?
I'm gonna abstain just because I didn't have enough information to have any idea if it's any more information. Because we just received some of this information.
Okay, so motion carried 5 with 1 abstention. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Sorry, guys, bear with me here.
And just, sorry, and I'll mention it.
Okay. All right, so motion to approve PI 6.
One moment.
Yeah, yeah, I think we can do that all in one, right? Or no, would you guys like to break it up?
It's all, this, pretty much, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's A and B. Would you like me to break it up into A and B?
No.
So motion to approve PI 6.
I'll motion.
And a second? Any discussion?
And so the discussion is, just so that we can confirm, because there's a number of different levels, A, B, C, and what have you for these stipends. Any experience as a town board member previously where errors do happen, I would like to have a way in which we are provided information for all increases, Ken mentioned it earlier, just in terms of how we arrived at that. Is there a schedule, things of that nature? If it's a contractual thing that is predetermined, then
That's what this is.
is it, okay?
Yeah.
But
It's
it's still just confirming that each one is accurate.
right. I'm not laughing at you, but that's what our athletic director does, and then that's presented to John for his review, and then it's given to the board for their.
Yeah, and just to be clear, when I was on board, and I can give you examples where those checks theoretically were done, and we found that they were at the wrong step, at the wrong level.
Okay.
If we're gonna vote for approving this, in my case, I feel more comfortable confirming that it's accurate. Especially, there's such a volume of pay rates and stipends and what have you, I mean, it's more than just a handful.
I got you.
I do think that we need to just confirm, because things do happen, errors can occur, and
Well,
commonly the error is on the high end, not on the low.
One of the nice things, it may not appear right away as a nice thing, but now that you're learning how to access Word docs, and I know we're still working through a few glitches. We're good now? Okay. If you're allowed to go back a whole year, because this would be, these names, for the most part, would have been on the agenda a year ago with their stipend. Right. So there is a checks and balance if you wanted to do that work. Okay.
Just a question, what's modified?
Modified is 7th and 8th grade.
Oh,
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have our motions, correct? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Is it 6-0?
6. Yep, so we're on to PI 7. It's just PI 7. So motion to approve PI 7.
Motion. I'll second.
Any discussion, guys? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. And PI 8, looking for a motion to approve PI 8.
I think just the reason.
Yeah, but A, B. Yeah, so we should split A, B. Yeah, okay, so, thank you, Beth. So looking for a motion to approve PI 8A. And a second?
I'll second.
And discussion.
Yeah, so, I'm a firm no on this one. It just seems, it's a luxury and it's a costly luxury, and we haven't had it in the past, and, I mean, 82,000 is a lot for PR. I just don't think that this is the right time for that with the current environment. I do think we need to be very smart with how we're using our funds. Most of us can do part of that PR ourselves, working to brand or whatever. And I just think that we need to be very cautious how we're spending our taxpayers' money.
Any other discussion?
I agree totally.
Well, I do not agree with doing PR myself because I don't have a background in that, and I could not trust myself on doing PR matters. I don't have a degree, I don't have training, that's not my specialty, so that's just what I'll add to the commentary there.
And I will say that I feel that now more than ever it is needed to separate the factual information that comes from the school to try and get ahead of inaccurate facts that are being continuously spread. So I do feel this is a very valuable position to communicate the correct information out in as many possible avenues as it is. Handling the social media accounts and documenting everything and being able to provide it in a clear and concise manner, I think is a very valuable tool.
Is it really a full-time position? This is a lot of money for this, just to, what you're doing is saying here, we gotta spend all this money to play whack-a-mole.
What was that? I missed what you said.
We're just gonna spend all this money to play whack-a-mole.
Play whack-a-mole?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this stuff keeps popping up, and you're gonna say, no, that isn't, that, it goes on endlessly. At some point, we gotta say, we send out information all the time. Our kids are doing well in school, they're getting good jobs, they're going to college. It seems to me that if people are out there, you just can't stop and beat misinformation. It's just a losing proposition. And what are you gonna do, wind up hiring a second person if you get twice as much of this stuff? I just don't see the point. If you feel you need to have to do it, then it should be a part-time position at best.
Ron, would this person be serving in a similar capacity as like even what Larry was doing for years?
Yeah, but exponentially
Yes.
more.
I was gonna say, several years ago, we had brought out a part-time person, and while we felt that what he added was very valuable, he continued to build and to build, and I think that's how we got here, this is not a new position, it's just continually expanding.
And we shared.
Discuss the full
Yeah.
description of the job duties for this position. And it may be more encumbersome than just the title PR.
Yeah, for sure, the duties are expanded.
I'd just like to add a little bit more. I recognize the capital project issue, the recent budget and bus proposition issues. I think it's incumbent on all of us to be more transparent, get better information out, be more accurate, be more transparent. That's not a PR person that we need in that regard. I think we need to do a better job right here in terms of rolling up our sleeves, communicating what's going on as far as how we're spending and what have you. It's not about just putting, a spin to it. I mean, $82,000, a teacher and a third, entry-level step one, teacher and a third to a half. I mean, if it's really about the capital project and the budget and the bus proposition, I think this is diametrically opposed to the direction the public wants us to take, which is be smart with how we're spending our money, not spend it on luxury items, which we've gone how many decades without this particular position. Now we're going to spend that much money. That's a lot of money.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have our motions. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
Hey,
And no abstentions. Motion carried 4-2. Okay, I think that brings us to the end of personnel.
Nope, there's one more.
B, yes, PI 8B. Okay, yep, looking for motion to approve PI 8B.
I'll motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in discussion?
I think the term is too long. 1 year is more than sufficient to transition.
To me, I mean, in corporate world and everything else, if a guy leaves 2 weeks later, the other person's, well, let's say 3 months after they're hired, once they're hired, within a couple weeks, they're fulfilling the position. A 2-year transition, even a 1-year transition, I could see 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that, I just question the cost and the time frame that's involved, especially, we're not talking just the pay, we're also talking benefits. So, am I correct on that? There's benefits involved? So, I mean, that's not cheap. And a 2-year transition, so this person will get full benefits for 2 years on top of getting, it's not a huge amount of money, but cumulatively it is for something that should really take 4 to 6 weeks in terms of transitioning someone. It should be a fraction of this cost and none of the benefits that are involved. The benefits, I don't quite understand how we even came to that as far as the contract goes.
Any other discussion before I respond?
I guess I would just say that the experience and tacit knowledge that this individual brings and has brought is invaluable, and so just always go back on that. And I think that
The point is though that you should be able to relay that in 1 semester, not 2 years.
I mean, this is a golden parachute.
I do have one more thing, but Beth, if you
Yeah.
want to speak.
I mean, onboarding is that's my job. I work in HR. I work with onboarding. I agree that 2 years seems lengthy. I think 6 months would be a generous offer in this scenario.
So
with that.
what's also important is that this person is certified and will act as our director of health and phys ed. Years ago, when I arrived here, we had a separate person who came from Sweet Home, had retired, and that person was the director of health and phys ed because that person was certified in that area. The teacher on special assignment is not certified in that area, and that's also going to be part of this person's duties. That's why it's for the 2 years.
so there's additional duties beyond the mentoring.
That's
aspect
correct.
of- Yeah, I see.
Okay, the person who coming in, are they gonna get certified or are we gonna revisit this thing in 2 years?
Yeah, exactly. We just introduced the teacher on special assignment, and that person is a teacher doing dean of athletics. So that person now has a support person that is actually certified and will do the work of director of health and physical education as well as all the other duties. It is.
You're totally confused now, Brian. The individual we're talking about here is retiring, we're bringing him back as a consultant because he's certified. The person who's replacing him currently isn't certified.
Correct, as a
Okay?
teacher.
Are they going to get certified or we're gonna have to revisit this in 2 years?
Right now, it's a teacher on special assignment.
That didn't answer my question. are we gonna have to revisit this in 2 years because this person that's there isn't certified? Are we gonna, does he have to get certified?
This is a 2-year agreement, and so we will decide, right, the administration will decide what's best at the end of these 2 years.
So a clarification, Brad, and I apologize, I got the contract less than an hour ago, so I didn't read it that carefully, but I thought it was just the transition to train.
It's also direct.
Does it say in the contract that they're gonna do this additional work?
I believe so, we'll double check, John.
I would love to hear the answer to that, but, I mean, someone else is taking over this position, 6 weeks, to be generous, maybe 2 months of cross-training, teaching, transitioning. 2 years of benefits, just is, you would never find that.
Yeah, I appreciate your
If it was
perspective.
coming out of my pocket or your personal pocket, you wouldn't do it. Why are we doing it here?
I can't stress enough that this person has an administrative certification that allows this person to do evaluations of staff, right? This person is going to do more than just coach and mentor. That's all. It's just it's that simple.
It's in the contract, huh?
Well, those are the duties.
This is an example where we need this information much earlier. And I also contend a contract like this one and the previous one we talked about should be on the agenda so the folks, because people should be able to comment on this. The public should be, they don't see this information, so they can't comment, so they don't know where the taxpayers are going, dollars are going. There needs to be more transparency. There is no reason that this, it is public information. The salaries and benefits are public. We should be posting this on the internet so folks know what's going on.
The person who is moving into this channel, one of the requirements should be that you get these certifications. When a person gets hired here as a teacher,
Right.
you have to get
I understand.
extra hours of education to
I
get tenure.
understand your perspective. Here in Grand Island, our athletic director, John Roth, served in that capacity for maybe 30 years as a teacher, but had support from an administrator who had the certifications. So when I arrived, John Roth was the teacher, the dean of athletics. He was probably called the athletic director, but Chris DeMarco, who came from Sweet Home, who had retired, did have the administrative certification to oversee physical education and health. This is literally the same model, right? And it's cheaper to do it this way, as has been discussed. So that's all. That's the model. In the future, we may just post for an athletic director with administrative certification. But right now, this is what we're recommending.
It's in the contract, item E, under section 3, scope of services. Scope of services, item E. Mr. Banker shall continue to provide limited support as Director of Health and Physical Education as assigned by the Superintendent of Schools. Such duties may include curriculum coordination, support for health and physical education programming, professional dialogue with health and physical education teachers, assistants with instructional planning, support for department operations, and other related duties. Mr. Banker may also assist with evaluations or evaluation-related responsibilities for health and physical education personnel, provided such work is authorized by the superintendent and is consistent with applicable law, certification requirement, board policy, and collective bargaining agreements.
So for the board, this model was in place when I arrived in 2016. John Roth, a teacher, a retired teacher, was the athletic director, and Chris DeMarco, the certified administrator, oversaw phys ed and health and assisted. Right, that's the model. We moved away from that model when John finally retired after 50 years of service, and we hired Brett Banker, who had retired from Kent Tech, right? And he loves it here. His children went here. He created an athletic hall of fame. He created a bike night. He's done amazing work. So he will be the Chris DeMarco that we had when John was here. That's literally what he's doing. And it's cheaper. It's more economically feasible to do it this way than to go out and post for an administrator. So that's why we're doing it.
Well, it sounds like he fulfilled that as in his current position. He's leaving. Now we're putting him on as a consultant, right?
To do this work.
And then we're also hiring a dean of athletics, who's
Right.
also pretty well paid. So, and then on top of that, all the benefits and pay.
It's actually cheaper, Mike. That's what it is. It's a cheaper model. It's not cheaper by a lot, but it's cheaper.
The description I've heard there doesn't sound like there's much need, but.
It's actually required by the state.
Yeah, can I just double check on that? Every school district must have a director of health.
It's not this person's title.
It's his title. He just read it aloud to you.
That is Brett Banker's
Well,
Yeah. Any other discussion? Okay, so now, did we get our, yeah, we just need to.
so actually just one last question. So Brett Baker's not, when you combine Brett Baker and this new position, this new person that's filling in, combined, that's much more expensive. So I'm not sure how it's less expensive.
We talked about it before the meeting. It's because Brian Willett's position is being encumbered by a long-term substitute teacher that is making far less than hiring an
So
athletic
you're
director.
backfilling in another position, entry-level teacher is unrelated to this discussion.
It is not unrelated. It's exactly why it's cheaper.
This is costing more.
It is, it absolutely is not.
Disagree.
We absolutely disagree.
Yeah, hiring a entry-level position is gonna be cheaper. We're gonna be doing it every time someone leaves. But if every time someone leaves, we then create a new position and full health benefits for 2 years, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate your perspective. Are we ready for a vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, so that's 3-2 with an abstention, so.
doesn't
Yeah,
pass.
does not pass. So that does bring us finally at the end of personnel instructional. All right, so we are on to personnel non-instructional. Would you guys like me to break these?
Just go for it.
Or do them all in one? Do them all in one? Give Jim a discussion.
No, I'm good with this.
You good with this? Okay, so if that's the case, I need a motion to approve non-instructional PNI 1 through PNI 4.
I'll motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Alright, so motion carries 5 with 0 with 1 abstention. Alright. On to finance with Dr. Wynn.
All right, thank you very much. There are 7 action items. Item D, one of the 7, I'm going to ask to table because I did not include the list of library books from the high school. but I'd like to go over the other 6 action items. We first have textbooks from the high school that are being declared surplus, biology and history. The second item, B, is the transportation contract that was discussed earlier a little bit, and this is a contract for 30 days to transport a student to Fairport, New York, every day. It is 80% aidable. The total cost is $16,089. Item C is the bond resolution to authorize the purchase of the buses. So that's $615,000 that was approved in Proposition 2, and this is the resolution authorizing the borrowing. Item D is the item I want to table. That's the high school library books. Item E is well, how do I say this? Every time you deal with an organization, they have to sign a security agreement, data privacy. So it's data security and data privacy. So 4 BOCES have come together and put together an agreement that all of us share and we use, so that these vendors don't have to sign multiple. I mean, we're dealing with over 3,000 contracts in the state, and not just us, but others. And vendors would rather sign one, a cooperative agreement, rather than sign one for each one of the services that schools deal with.
Is this for FY2?
Yes. So this is a resolution that's totally focused on data privacy and security of data.
What does the ROC stand for?
Let me just pull it out.
It's like Risk Operations Center.
Yep, nice job, Beth.
Say that again?
Risk Operations Center.
Okay, Risk Operations Center. Item F is a transfer over $15,000, and this is a transfer of $18,372. It's strictly for health services for Buffalo private schools. It's speech therapy, nursing, psychological, social services. When our students attend Narden, Canisius, Nichols, St. Mary's of the Deaf, Timon, some charter schools, they're providing health services, and those schools bill us back for those health services. So this was an expense that exceeded what we had in the budget, and it's solely on Buffalo private schools.
What do we have in the budget?
I don't know, I'd have to check. Do you want that information for the next meeting? I could provide that. Okay. What's happening a lot with this type of billing and others, we just got a bill from Kenmore from 21-22, and they're trying to bill us $10,000 for services that they forgot to bill us. So, under the law. So, I'm going to talk to the superintendent about that tomorrow. It's unbelievable that they can't,
Big number? Pardon? Is that a big number?
10,000? Yeah, I would be
It's
so
a big number. Tough.
Yeah.
They 5 years, too bad.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the private sector, it's your problem.
That's right, and, they add up, so, the budget's tight, and I just can't keep taking on this stuff, so. And the other items, well, we have obsolete library books at Kegabine, and there was a list provided, and the other two items are information.
Actually, for H, it says invoice to pay somebody for $18,372. That's something we don't have to approve?
See that again?
For H.
Isn't that the legal notice for?
Oh, sorry.
H is for 1,410.
Right. So sorry, maybe that was F.
Yeah, it would be under.
Yeah.
F is the other one, that's the 18,000.
So that one you would need to approve. So
Yes.
I asked for, if there's a contract, an invoice, I'd like to understand what we're paying $18,372
We're
for.
paying for any kind of therapies or additional services that those schools will provide our students. So not included in any kind of tuition.
Oh, so this is like a therapist or something?
Well, Mike, it's speech therapy, nursing services, psychological, and social worker. So these are private schools that our children attend in Buffalo, Narden, Canisius, St. Mary's for the Deaf.
So I guess what I was asking for was the invoices or some level of detail for what we're buying for that amount of money. We didn't get, so Jim and I are just being onboarded, even though we should have been onboarded according to policy a couple, back in May. So yes, we didn't see all of this information.
Truthfully, I believe this is the public.
Is the 18,000 the total or
Yeah,
does
that's,
that
I wanted to know.
It's an increase over what we had in the budget, but it is the total that
Okay.
this Buffalo is billing us for all
Only
of the
has 18
schools.
something, that's the total cost.
Well, it's, I'd have to get the total cost. I'd have to get the answer for you.
Okay.
It's a transfer over and above what we had in the budget.
Okay, I can understand that. If you get 15.2 in the budget, we're not paying 18. But is the 18?
The total cost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my question.
I don't have that answer. I could get that answer for you.
One more question for you. What do you do with the obsolete books? I mean, are they obsolete because they're beat up or because, somebody decides they like a new textbook better and they're still usable books and we let people take them?
We let people take them. The board has a policy. We offer them, to whoever wants them. And generally, when I talk to the librarians, they're older dates. In some cases, the kids haven't taken these books out for 7 years. A lot of them are old teacher manuals and things.
One of the first things all the building administration does with the librarian is to contact Bullet Services, which will offer to buy back usable books that might be outdated, but very rarely is even Bullet buying books back because the information has changed.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these from the Kegabine list, for example, is mid to late 90s.
I understand it as a library book, but on textbooks.
Same, the textbooks is really
History,
primarily.
History and biology tonight, we surplus those. So the content has changed according to
Standards change, the content change.
There are new exams also, with Regents exams for.
Okay.
You mentioned tabling the library books. What was the reason for tabling?
I forgot to include the list, so the board has not seen the list of the 300 or 400 books, and I felt that giving it to you at the last minute wasn't the right thing to do. So it'll be on the August 3rd agenda.
Anyone, any other questions? Would you guys like to break those up, or is everyone good with finance, A, B, C, D, and
A through G.
no, it's E. Except D. Everyone's good with that? Okay. Then looking for a motion to approve finance A through G, omitting D. And a second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried 6-0. Right, that's on to special education.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Quick tonight. I have program recommendations that need to have action for not only our CSD students, but also our CPSE students, which are our preschool students.
Okay.
So is there a motion related to this one, or
Yes.
is this informational?
Yeah, no, that's a
So we should do a motion and then discussion, right?
Sure. Okay, so we have a motion to approve special education pupil personnel services A and B. And a second? Any discussion?
And so just a question on this.
Sure.
So I only just, actually, I don't think I do have access to board docs yet for the executive piece. Are these items in the executive informational?
There was only two things in the executive that you didn't have until today, and it was just the two contracts. Everything else was to the public by noon on Thursday.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's showing as of yesterday in the public piece, doesn't look like there's any recommendations. Is there supposed to be recommendations that we're supposed to be considering for this?
Are you specifically talking about CSD and CPS?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're going to get is, it's a listing, and it doesn't have any student names. It actually just has their identification number. It will talk about the CSD or the CPSC meeting and what happened there. Did we declass? Did they transition from preschool to school age? Are we adding or taking away any of the therapies such as speech, PT, OT, counseling, etc.? So you'll get all of that information for every single student that was at a meeting, CSE, CPSE, and 504s when we do our 504 meetings, and you'll be able to see all of those services that you're approving.
So we're really not making a decision, we're just being informed, it sounds like. Because we would have no input on something like
Yeah,
that. So why wouldn't we
zero
vote on this?
input, because then once the board approves it, then the services are given.
So
Oh,
we
okay.
can't
I got it.
technically
So
start services
It's
until
for
you
giving
approve.
services. and
Correct.
that's what we're approving.
Yes.
But we would have no input on what
Correct.
the decisions are.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Just learning some things, so.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstained? Motion carried 6-0. All right,
All right.
that brings us
I
to
have 72 slides for the board. But I will fly quickly because, you know, a lot of the work that we do is celebratory, and graduation is the epitome of celebration. Hillary and Jamie and Brian and your entire team did a fantastic job with graduation. So these are just really quick. I'm just going to fly through just the smiling faces and the pomp and circumstance of graduation. Scholarships given. I think Hillary indicated that there were over $100,000 in local scholarships given to students at graduation. Jay, you did a great job with your speech, well done, and our students were just outstanding. So we're going to miss them. They're a really great class, and we look forward to the new group of seniors taking leadership there. And there's nothing quite like a band and a choir singing at Kleinham's Music Hall. It was absolutely breathtaking. We've been promoting and sharing with the community to remind parents that children should not be on e-bikes on school property, on sidewalks, things of that nature. It's very, very serious, so we'll keep spreading that word. And of course, saying goodbye to the children at Sidway and middle school. Some of these pictures are truly, truly precious. So we thank all of our educators and our staff and our principals for doing such a great job. So lots to celebrate as we head into this new school year. And we also had our annual cruise night. That was a big hit. I think it raised over $7,000. These were some of our sponsors. I was up on the roof taking pictures of what it looked like from a higher perspective. And it was a wonderful community event, bringing really so many enthusiasts. Hey Jude, is that your car right there? Yeah, very nice, very nice. Jude, is that your car right there? It used to be. All right. And Kid Biz, there's nothing like Kid Biz. The Chamber of Commerce has done such a tremendous job. We had many children from our elementary schools and middle schools participate, as well as St. Stephen's. We congratulate all of our kids who did such a great job, and we'll be bringing a few to the board in August to recognize Kid Biz. Just recently, this information came out. Grand Island School District ranked 5th of top public schools in Western New York, so that's a great celebration. And the Veronica Connor Middle School and Grand Island High School are ranked very high amongst their peer schools in Western New York, so congratulations to them. And Kettwine and Heath amongst the top 25 elementary schools in Western New York, so we congratulate them. And for the board, if you're, sometimes people think that everybody takes off during the summer, but we have about 113 students attending high school summer school. We have no school students getting academic intervention services. We have approximately 106. Yeah, thank you.
9 o'clock.
Approximately 106 students in our extended school year special education program. We service children that need English as a second language. We service children who need mental health support. We call it Viking Voyage. And this number is actually lower. I think, Brian, your real number is
380, is it small?
380. So you would add a bigger number. It's well over 500-600 children being serviced during the summer here at our school. So thank you for education.
It's loading.
That's it. There we go. And we're back. All right. Nice job, Dr. Graham. Okay, so that brings us to the Board of Education report. Looks like we do have one action item before a few discussion items. It's basically an approval or certification of the revote numbers. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would need a motion to approve Board of Education report A.
I'll motion.
And the second?
Jim did.
Oh, okay.
Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried 6-0. Okay, first discussion item here is to establish the fiscal and process optimization committee. I believe Mike and Jim, that was you, if you guys would like to lead off the discussion.
And just process-wise, should I be reading the motion as if I'm asking to pass, which this is only a discussion, or can I just kind of do a high-level discussion on it?
Yeah, high level. I would say discussion.
And it is posted out on the agenda, so people can see the actual motion with the details of what the committee will be. So Jim and I are introducing the idea of establishing a fiscal process optimization committee. You know, it's really going to be a forward-thinking initiative that can strengthen our district and become a model for other districts. We're thinking this will be somewhat unique. Our community has spoken clearly. The capital project, the initial budget, the initial plus proposition were all rejected by voters recently. Taxpayers are demanding greater confidence that every dollar is spent wisely and effectively. This committee is our proactive response to that need. This is not an audit or another finance committee. It is a dedicated effort focused on one essential question: how can we achieve stronger educational outcomes while making every taxpayer dollar work harder? Every successful organization continually evaluates how it operates, it challenges longstanding assumptions, looks for better ways of doing things, and never settles for it because that's how we've always done it. The proposed committee will include up to 3 board members, and it'd be ideal if we did have 3 board members. The superintendent is optional. You can decide if he wants to participate. A business officer representative as well that's picked by Brian. Working collaboratively with administration, faculty, and staff through Brian. The committee would examine operations across all buildings and departments, reviewing processes, staffing, resources, contracts, and practices, seeking to optimize and continuously improve the overall operation. Meetings will occur twice monthly or as needed. Will be open to the public, and video whenever feasible. We will regularly report findings and recommendations to the full board for action. Our goal is clear: improve efficiency, eliminate waste, strengthen student outcomes, and keep Grand Island affordable and outstanding. This is about leadership, listening to our community, embracing continuous improvement, and leading our district stronger for students, staff, and taxpayers. So I've provided a draft motion for everybody to look at. If you have comments tonight, we can discuss it, and/or if you could send suggested edits or where you have concerns, and we could have a better discussion in the next meeting, but we can start the discussion tonight.
I guess I would ask for a better description of the logistics and what each meeting would consist of and who would be the makeup of the committee. But more so, I would like to see what is proposed in this committee lined up to what is already existing in existing committees, like the internal audit committee, the community relations committee, and district facilities committee. So, and how it differentiates from existing committees and whether existing committees could be, maybe there could be a conversation and there could be added or improved.
So how it's different, it's not an audit. It's not a community, I'm not sure what the committee is, the other committee you mentioned. So this is not about auditing, this is not anything of that nature. This is really about really looking at all aspects, whether it's spending, capacity utilization, things of that nature. Like we could even discuss Echo Island. We have this facility, generally maintenance is over there. What makes sense as far as, the travel distances and things of that nature. How can we operate as effectively as possible, reduce costs, so that we can make sure our resources are focused on education. It could be bus schedules, can we optimize? Right now, we have the high school and middle school going in at the same time, lots of congestion on Ransom and Ransom and Stony Point. What if we had a different schedule where seniors are known to perform? There's a lot of studies out there. If they came in an hour later, think in those terms. If they came in an hour later, what's the reduction in the need for buses? Is it 10, 15%? Bus drivers, everything of that nature. So really kicking the tires and understanding how we're operating and asking a lot of questions. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Well, we've always done it that way. No, we want to really understand how we're doing it, and is there a better way? And I'm not convinced that we've done that. I'm sure we do it continuously, but in a really focused way that accomplishes two things. One is at least we get a better understanding of how our process is operating, and if we have some ideas or concepts for making it more efficient. But in that process also, I think we're going to create more transparency, so the public can actually see what's going on, how their dollars are being spent, to be reported to this meeting on a regular basis. So it's about transparency as well as really doing a deep dive, not doing it concentrated, from whether it's November, which it really isn't, from January to May, concentrated look at spending. We're talking about making this a continuous process where we're looking at the entire process and trying to find a more optimized way in which to spend taxpayers' dollars and improve education. So I think we did a lot of it.
Okay, when I was with this guy from Pittsburgh, I was asked to approve, I was in the treasury department, I was asked to approve these payments to Maryland for this fleet lease program that we have. And I looked at it and I said, we're done the way we're talking. Why are we paying this type of interest rate? Like, well, we've always done it. Well, after digging around and getting some other people involved, after totally revamp this fleet lease operation, and we're saving $7 million a year. And then they asked me to do the short-term funding, which is buying and selling commercial paper each day. And I asked the guy from Merrill Lynch, I said, well, if I get here early, do I get a better rate? I want a better rate. He goes, oh, yeah, if you get here like 9:15, you're going to save 4 or 5 basis points. So I told the people, get me the numbers by 9. they will save us $70,000 a year in interest expense. Yeah, it's a chump change. And this is the thing, that different set of eyes, people asking questions, why are we doing it this way? This way may be the perfect way, but then again, it may not. And it's very easy to just continue the status quo. Different set of eyes will ask different questions.
And I do see that this is outlined 2 times per month, so that's already in there, and that it would consist of 3 board members, or up to 3 board, yeah. So, sorry, I missed that in the explanation. Superintendent and a person the superintendent selects from the business office.
You know, I think, sorry.
No, I just was correcting myself there, yes.
No, I'm all for this. I think this is a fantastic idea. My input would be, I don't know that 2 times a month is necessary. You know, maybe once a month or every other month, or as needed, as you have in there. I'd like to see this committee created, but I'd like to see it. We can start with an outline, but I'd like to see it grow, right? And as the need, is there, we can decide, how it progresses.
Is there any overlap with the district policy committee that already exists?
This would not be
No,
policy.
this would not be making policy.
This is
right?
really
Yeah.
process optimization. Think of, right now, maintenance is going from driving 15 miles to maintain things. Is there a way to consolidate that in one location? It's things of that nature. Just why are we doing certain things the way we're doing it? Is there a better way to reduce costs, what have you? Jay, one of the things you mentioned was the frequency. This is an $81 million budget. You can't look at it. You can't cover that. This will take, if you do it every 2 weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks, let's say, summer might be a little lighter. This will take not 1 year. It'll probably take 2 or 3 years to accomplish the level of looking into, especially there's limited resources, limited time for folks. They're going to have to hopefully pull some information together for us, but it will take a considerable amount of time. And it won't be district-wide. It's going to be a focus. Look at Echo Island. What are we doing there? How much is the cost for the buildings? Why is maintenance located there? And some of these answers may, be very obvious. There's a reason why we're doing this, but it's just asking why, and right up to and including, would that be more open to the public? So it's not just about cost savings. It's a lot of it also is how can we redirect spending towards improving education and or trying to constrain spending basically.
And would these meetings take place during business hours?
We would have, whoever the committee is would have to decide that. Ideally, it would probably be the case because, we would have employees here that would be involved in.
Right. And open to the public though, that might be part of the public. And just to be clear, this committee would consist of examining and making recommendations versus there would be no decisions made.
Right. No, this is advisory
Because
only.
there could not be any decisions
It
made.
would go through the president and the superintendent. We would then discuss it, add it around, And disagreement is healthy. We shouldn't view disagreement as unhealthy. We all have different opinions, different points of view. A good, healthy debate, we should be encouraging that because that's how we're going to come up with the best decision.
Well, we also have to be cognizant of our superintendent and anybody from the business's office's time during these important hours. These meetings could very well go on all day long.
And we prefaced this meeting today with a discussion about increasing, there was some talk about increasing the number of board meetings because there was concern about, especially when it came budget time. So I just want everyone to be aware, I agree that there's going to be a lot of moving parts and we're asking a lot of people to be involved. And I think the people of the district are busy enough in day-to-day operation, so we just need to be cognizant.
Even in the guidelines, it says we would have to work through Brian. He would have to, he's gonna control some of the timeline of this based on resource availability and time constraints and maybe even time of the year. Certain times are budget time of the year. This point, we may just be focused on this group's budget. But then, the next 6 months might be an ideal period of time where there's a little more opportunity to dig into some of the things that during budget time, we're under such constraints. So I'd really like to look at that and better understand that, but I just don't have the time to do it. And that's the things that we want to dig into.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see Brian be able to bring this back to our administrative team and department leaders
We
and
will.
things of that nature to get our feedback. And then we could continue the discussion at the next meeting if that sounds
Yeah, that
And
makes
maybe
sense.
for the next, and if I have more questions, I can always circulate them before next meeting, but just in terms of refining the logistics of these meetings, just to kind of get ahead of.
2 hours, 2 hours would be my limit.
Microphone shut off. Anyone else? Well, thank you for bringing that to us, Joe and Mike. And,
Good discussion.
Sounds like we'll have some more discussion on that next month. Okay, next thing was, again, Mike, on senior parking spaces and decorating appeal process.
Yes. So, we heard the student earlier. She stood for her rights. I do think what happened in that circumstance was because we didn't have good guidelines, a good policy related to that, so this policy committee, maybe we feed that in there. But I do think that if a student stands up for their rights and prevails, which she did, and her parking spot's been decorated just like she wanted it to for the last 9 months. No harm, no foul occurred, no big issues. Because of the lack of a policy, I think if we had a clear policy that is legally sound, we could have avoided some of the things that happened back last year. So just to kind of read what I wrote up, the senior parking space decorating program has become, it's a new program, but it's the seniors do like it. They did a petition for folks that don't know, and I don't know, Brian probably knows better. I heard 150 or 200 signatures. It gives our graduating seniors a meaningful way to express creativity, build school spirit, take pride in their final year. For most students, decorating their assigned space is a highlight of senior year. I don't know, that may be a little over. Last year, a lack of clear, legally sound guidelines led to poor administrative decisions. Student courageously stood up for her rights, and she was ultimately allowed to decorate. No issues arose. Her fellow seniors decorated their spaces with pride. If you go back there, it looks, they probably had a lot of fun doing it. Yet instead of learning from this and creating clear rules, the proposal now is to eliminate or severely restrict the decorating portion of this popular program. I think that sends a very wrong message. When students successfully defend their rights and programs work without incident, like in this case, right through till today, we should not respond by canceling it. That is the appearance of punishing students for speaking up. It also ignores the $13,000 in attorney fees this district spent because guidelines were missing. That's where the failure was we lacked the guidelines. Decorating parking spaces, no different than displaying student artwork. In our hallways with proper standards, there is no added risk or cost. That is why I'm proposing a motion that we'll discuss to establish a senior parking space decorating and design appeal process. This resolution creates a clear viewpoint, neutral guideline that protects students' expression while safeguarding our educational environment. It includes appropriate content standards, a fair review of an appeal process, and safety requirements when decorating. These rules will reduce future legal risk and allow this positive tradition to continue. I know it's only a couple years in, but it still could be a good tradition, I think. I urge the board to look at this proposal, make suggestions for editing it, and I would like us to really consider in August approving this so that we can launch this. And by the beginning of the school year, the students who did do a petition, and they are showing some enthusiasm towards it. It's the ability to reintroduce this program.
Just, Mike, I respectfully disagree. So the board's role is not to manage student activities or student fundraisers in a particular school. That's not the role of this governing body at all, okay? I do also want to alert the board that this painting of a parking space, myself, Hillary, the student senior advisors met with a group of now senior leaders, and we came up with a plan, and the plan has been put forth. So I think there's some misunderstanding in the community.
So what is the plan?
It hasn't been canceled, and 44 students out of, I think, I want to say, out of 244 seniors have signed up to paint a parking space. It's not the same program that we've had for 3 years, but they still get to paint the parking space. And actually, our student representative, who is Olivia, was part of the team that actually helped make the decision and move forward. So we actually listened to the students, and we did that in June, and it's moving forward. It's just a little different. So we really don't need a policy or a resolution. This is handled by our administrators. If the board is unhappy with how I operate, then that I'm your only employee. But Hillary supervises, her high school, all of our principals supervise, and they report to me.
Okay. So, and just to disagree a little bit in that the lack of a policy did cost the school money last year. Lack of clear guidelines resulted in that cost. And if we had those guidelines in place, we would have known that you can't say that someone can't express their religious freedom the way this person did, provided it's not, and that's part of the guidelines. Can't be violence, can't be, something that's not inappropriate. So we should be involved with making sure that legally we're not put at financial risk. And so if we had a policy, we could have prevented that risk from occurring.
Our students, in collaboration with the teachers and administration, came up with a plan, and we were moving forward with that plan. And actually, we've had kids participate, and we've raised some money for that with the senior class. So
could you share that plan though, Brian? Because let's talk about transparency. What is the plan?
Yeah, they get to paint a parking space, and
just one color?
Yeah, white and blue. And that, by the way, the students brought this to our attention. They brought it to us. So we went with their proposal.
What happens if there's a disagreement and a student is told you can't do this?
Yeah.
A student is told you can't do this.
They're painting.
And they appeal. And they appeal up, and
right.
They keep getting wet.
Right. It's just a blue parking space or a white parking space.
Answer my question,
right.
Brian.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing else on. There's nothing to appeal. It's blue or white with a number. That's it.
That's all they can put on there.
And no, the students brought that to our attention.
After they compromised to this point,
the students
you passed them into this corner.
There was no backing. We had a really collaborative student agency meeting, and Olivia, when she's here, was in that meeting.
Okay, but I can say that there's numerous students that wanted to do and you know that they did a petition for it, so that's not even debatable. But
actually, I'm not aware of 100 or whatever you said signatures. I'm not aware of that. But we did meet with students. They
came. Aware of a petition?
I no. Hillary's saying no, and so am I. So all I'm saying, Mike, is we came up with a plan. We don't really need a resolution or a policy, and we don't need the Board of Education supervising a student activity such as this.
So, just to push back one more time in this discussion, the superintendent is our only direct report. You are an employee. If we're seeing something that we don't agree with, especially when a student expresses their rights and prevails, because it was demonstrated that what occurred was not appropriate, then to remove that expression that many students were involved with in terms of, decorating their parking lot, has the appearance of punishment and or vindictiveness. And that shouldn't occur. There is no harm being done with the decorating that's occurring, that just occurred and has been in place for 9 months. Why would you not allow that the next time around? And I'm saying that as one of 7, and everybody else may have a different opinion, but you're our employee, and I'm asking you the question, why would you act in that manner? It doesn't seem appropriate.
Yeah, the manner that I acted was we brought students together with teachers and the administration and myself. We had a great conversation, and they recommended this to us.
Lots of creativity, and it just doesn't seem right, Brian. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call it the way it is.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Maybe we can have a small presentation at the next meeting to share that process, maybe in more detail. That may help to clarify things. I will just say that, in my opinion, and I may be wrong, I don't think that this is a policy for the board. I don't think this is a board governance thing. I would defer to the high school administration team and our school administrators. And then, and go from there. I just don't think this is something that the Board of Education should be writing a policy on. That's just my opinion.
I think the lack of that policy led directly to us spending $13,000. If you had had this policy, you would not have made that error.
Mike, I agree with so much of this, and it's very well written. And yeah, I mean, again, my opinion is that's not for us to decide. That's for the high school
Having
administration.
a policy that keeps us out of legal trouble is our job. It can be very costly.
Sure. So, but I think it's the word. I guess it's the word policy you're using that I don't agree with guideline. So that would be again the schools, not us, and the administration.
Well, it failed us and cost us money, and I don't think that because of the lack of a policy now, which is an error on this group's part, and I'm sorry, the Board of Education should keep us out of legal trouble, as in this case. So the lack of a policy did cost the school. Our fiduciary responsibility is to prevent that type of thing. So whether you call it a guideline or a policy, we should definitely make sure that we're not put at that risk going forward. And to remove this, and he is our direct employee, to remove this from the students, I'm sorry.
So then we direct Brian to work with the high school administration to create guidelines for a program.
Which is fine.
That is what we did, and that is what they do. They did it, so that they can share that with us. But it is not the board's purview to create that policy to govern the decisions of the administrators.
Okay.
Any other discussion on that?
I might still bring it up for a vote next meeting, just so everyone knows, and I will look for feedback if anyone wants to suggest something.
I will note that it's a slippery slope to say that we should be involved in changing policy based upon the risk of financial harm. I mean, that is a slippery slope. That's a big thing to say. You could find yourself easily saying that with a lot of things. There's always risk. So that's just what I want to know. Right?
Good.
Okay, and then one more item there, Mike, for you, motion to establish a school property access restriction and appeal process.
That is correct. So I seek a passage of a motion establishing a clear, legally sound policy for restricting access to district property. Right now, we lack a fair and defensible process. Parents have been banned indefinitely from school grounds with no written explanation of the duration and no opportunity to appeal. This has separated parents from their children during parent-teacher conferences, sports events, and other critical activities. Actions that undermine the parent engagement we all say we want to promote. So we want a mother, a father to be involved with their kids. And, if someone said something wrong or something, indefinite banning, I think is excessive. With no clear end date, if it's obviously if it's a violent situation. So this motion that everybody's received strikes the right balance. It gives the superintendent full and immediate emergency authority to act swiftly when safety or order demands it. It gives them authority to restrict property access for up to 14 days. Expiration must be in writing, so that they would tell the person, for the next 14 days you're banned from the site, without the right to appeal. So there'd be no appeal for the 14 days. But for any restriction beyond 14 days, the individual could be who knows from some other town. If they're being banned from being on school property for greater than 14 days or indefinitely, if it's violence related, that just would need to be in writing. That it's indefinite or it's 2 months or it's 8 months, and under that circumstance, they need to be made aware that there's an appeal process, and I propose it would be through this school board of some kind of a hearing. Now, is it appropriate for the school board to do that, or another set of administrators separate from the superintendent? That's what the type of feedback that I'm looking for. By adopting this policy, we replace legally vulnerable practice with a thoughtful, transparent one. We reduce the risk of a costly litigation while continuing to support strong parent involvement in safe schools.
Can you check with BOCES on this? Do they possibly have a policy that's safe?
We could check. Every time an adult visitor has broken the code of conduct, by the way, the Board of Education approves the code of conduct, and it includes visitors on our property. So when a person is violating our code of conduct, there are consequences. I issue those consequences. My history here is that when a person wants to meet with me to discuss it, I always meet with that person. And sometimes that banishment has changed because the person has accepted their responsibility and has apologized to the people. So, so we have done that already over the last 10 years, and any person that is banned emails or calls Jude or emails me and asks permission to be on property, and I don't think I'd ever deny that. So we already have a process. It is not the Board of Education's role to appeal, to be part of that process at all. And every letter that I write is approved by our legal team.
I do think an indefinite ban for school property creates a burden. A child needs to be picked up from school.
I got a letter today, an email asking to do that, and I approved it.
You're not always available, Brian, and right now
I'm just letting you know that I have approved every request.
Well,
and I'm saying
the penalty should fit the crime. Okay?
It should.
And so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be, there should be no indefinite.
Well, if people take responsibility for their actions and apologize for their actions, then things change for them. They're adults, right?
But
they
you're-
have total, I want them to understand why they were banned, to understand what is the prohibited conduct, and then to take action to improve. Just like we ask our kids.
Okay, so when you do that, they know the exact length of time of this penalty.
No, the letter does not list a time.
Which is
But
unreasonable.
it is not unreasonable because
Yes, it
every
is.
person has requested to come on property and I've never denied it.
That's
Every
still
person.
a burdensome process.
Every person.
That is not rule of law, Brian.
I'm just telling you, these letters are approved by our legal counsel.
I would
It's
encourage
not
everybody
rule of
here
law.
to just do a little bit of research, an indefinite ban. And
The letter
just
does
give
not
it
say
one-
an indefinite ban.
Well, it's
So,
banned with
but
no
people
end date. No end
people
date.
can appeal to me,
Yeah,
not
so
to
the
the
only
board.
appeal is to you, Brian. So
Exactly.
you're
That's correct.
the only decider.
That is correct.
There should be a way to
That's
appeal.
my goal.
That's your
That's-
opinion,
I'm
and
just
this
letting you know.
board will have to decide
Of course.
whether or not
Yeah.
that's appropriate.
That, I appreciate that.
Well, they certainly can't appeal to us. Are you saying you want them to appeal to us as the board?
They could.
If they don't get any, if they don't get any satisfaction, you want to have indefinite, suspensions?
I think we want adults to take responsibility for their actions.
We certainly have an open
If-
communication with our email, that they can email us their
If
concerns
Brian
as
wants
they
to
do all the
bring it
time.
to us and discuss it with us, that's fine, but to bring a community member in front of the board to appeal and then we judge that is again not our role.
If we had guidelines, I mean, even the state and federal courts have sentencing guidelines because they don't want it to be rule of man as opposed to rule of law. People should know what the penalties are if they,
So what you're suggesting is to direct Dr. Graham to work with the administration in the district to come up with an outline of this process.
absolutely.
I mean, if a person swears a couple times and says that a policy is whatever word you want to use, that results in a undefined ban for months. To me, that's, and it does create a burden and an embarrassment for that parent for undefined amount of time. I don't think it's legally defensible. I think it does put us in a vulnerable position legally.
Well, I do appreciate your perspective. All letters are approved by our chairman.
All what?
All letters that I write banning people from property are approved by our attorney.
Well, I'm sure that was the case for the parking space too, which didn't work out too well.
I appreciate your perspective.
Any other discussion on it? Thank you. Okay, that'll bring us to public comments. Yep, nobody's signed up for that, which brings us to committee of the whole items and information for the roundtable, starting with Jim.
I don't have anything, I do have tons of things, but, the only thing I would ask us to consider is swapping the Eagle Island board meeting with the bus tour at the end of October. I think the board should see the schools at the beginning of the year. So if they see something or they hear something from faculty and staff there, you can address it at the beginning of the school year, not as the snow flies.
Yeah, I think the discussion on the, thank you.
That's,
Okay. Beth?
Nothing for me.
Jude?
Also, thanks.
I just want to welcome Jim and Mike. Thank you for being here and all the work you've already put in. I'm absolutely honored to be the board president. Thank you for sticking with me early on in the meeting with a few little hiccups in that, but we'll get through it. It was the first time for me running the reorg meeting. That's all. Roger.
Welcome to Jim and Mike on the board, and very excited to get through graduation. Congratulations to all the graduates. I beat you on that. And everything went off great. I remember my wife sitting there saying to me, "Oh my gosh, the chorus and the band sound so good." And I said, "Honey, we're in Kleinhans. Of course they sound better." But they did sound. They sounded amazing, and they're so talented, and everyone pulled off a great event, so thank you again.
I'm all set.
Go USA on soccer, and just on Jim's point, just wondered, one thing to discuss is just the format for those tours of the different facilities. I'm not sure, one bus tour, I think it takes quite a bit of time to go through a facility, so I just want to make sure that we do it right.
Yeah, no, we do so the bus tour was a thing in the past. So I'll shoot out an email, see what people's ideas are for maybe moving that bus tour to a different date. Is that something okay? Yeah, okay, great. John, good?
Well said,
Good?
thank you.
All set. Okay, awesome. I think we got a couple of upcoming meetings.
Just, I want to thank Mike Madigan, actually. there's been a lot of fires on Grand Island this summer. And Jude and I and John Fitzpatrick and some other district individuals went and we had a custodian in a cleaner's house caught on fire in Long Road, and I just appreciate your volunteerism and your support of our firefighting community. I think it was a 5 and 10 fire, Mike, and there were a lot of reporting fire departments supporting our wonderful people here in Grand
I
Island.
clarified it. I wasn't the starter, I was trying to put it out.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, okay. Yeah. But I did appreciate that. Gave you a fist bump as we were walking down the street. You were very hot. It was a hot day. But the people are safe, and appreciate the support of our firefighters. And July 13th is Gisba Golf Outing, so let you know if you want to golf. Thank you, Jay.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, now we just have a couple of dates. Our next Board of Education meeting is August 3rd, followed by August 24th. And so with that, if I could get a motion to adjourn the regular meeting. And a second? All in favor? Aye. All right, meeting adjourned at 9:41. Gee, that's good.